The High School Sports Beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. We start this week with East High football. The Eagles season began with a big question mark about Seven McGee's status and an opening week loss. Since then, these Eagles have soared, winning 8 straight. Here's Tariq Spence.
Let's go, y'all! Let's go!
For the East High Eagles to get to the semifinals here against Spencerport, it wasn't easy. The season did not start off the way they wanted it to, but yet they're still here with a 7-game winning streak. We talked to them earlier this week to find out how they did it. You know, all the adversity and stuff that you guys had to deal with, it wasn't your fault. Some of this stuff is beyond your control. Some of the stuff is off the field and involving a 7. What's that process been like for you guys?
Our kids kind of took it personal. You know, they thought that he was kind of wronged in that whole thing, and a lot of people felt that way. And you know, we can keep our opinions to ourselves on it, but
it's been a little stressful. But we still have a team. You know, we still have a season to play. So I mean, our main focus was focused on the football team, not on everything else that was going on. You know, you read the articles here and there, but you don't really have to read them if you don't want to. Mm-hmm. So our main focus is, you know, taking every game week by week.
At first we started off rough. We wasn't communicating with each other. We weren't all on the same page. And then one day we came to practice. We all focused up and we made it happen.
So we feel like maybe we used it as a tool to motivate, but it also kind of hurt us because he was getting all of our reps at running back and safety, and so to fill in a hole like him is tough to start out.
The loss of Oregon commit Seven McGee for the season would be a crushing blow to any team, but East had UMass commit Freddie Brock to fill the void.
Yeah, Freddie's an outstanding player. He's one of a kind, and his talent is special, and not many like him out there, that's for sure. As far as his leadership, he took a step forward in leadership this year, especially after we lost Seven. You know, he was just always the best player. But I think guys, when Seven's gone, they kind of look to him as to be the guy to lead by example and show them the right way to work every day in practice and how to carry yourselves during games and in school. And so Freddie's done a good job stepping up the second half of the season as our leader.
You're having a great season thus far. One of the leaders in this team, one of the best in Section 5. How are you sort of preparing each week now that you know it's win or go home?
I'm just staying hungry, man. Staying hungry, bringing 110% every practice, every game, and yeah.
For East High School, they've been talking a bit about not only communicating better each game, but their team camaraderie and how important it is.
A lot of times, like, we just do stuff outside the school. That's where it starts. Like, outside of practice, like, we meet up at one of each other's houses and just have fun. Like, don't even think about football. But just know, like, when it's time to get, it's time to focus up, get back on this field. We know when to turn that play moment off and get to work.
Because they trust each other, you know, they don't want to try to do extra on the field because they know the guy next to them has worked as hard. We spend a lot of time together, and you know, we're enjoying ourselves this year. We don't want practice to end yet.
And these guys know they can hit us up anytime. It doesn't just have to be about football; it can be about anything. So, I mean, I think that's what they believe. I think they know they can do that, and we know, you know, they're allowed to do that. You know, we're all here for one goal: is to get better as a team. We all love football, you know. So we spend more time with the football team than we do with our own family. So it's like we're just one family. I mean, I don't know.
Part of their success this season has come from the combination of quarterback Anthony Gilbert and sophomore Justice Ross-Simmons. You guys have fought all the way down to the end and got those dubs. So what is that like? What do you say to these guys in the huddle?
basically, you block, I got you. Like, I'm gonna make it happen. Like, it just happened so much times. Like the Wilson game last year, like I'm just made for these moments now. Like I got them. You block for me, my receiver do the right routes, and we can just get it done. We're gonna take it play by play. I'm gonna get it done. I got you. I'm gonna get the ball where they need to be.
At first, in the beginning of the season, I started at wideout. Coach just started bringing me in as running back, one of the running backs besides Freddie. I lead block for him sometimes, and sometimes I get the ball.
Okay. All right. How do you like this sort of new role or adjustment to it? Has it been an adjustment for you? Or you like the challenge of just playing ball?
I like the challenge of just playing ball.
Oh, that's it? All right. The goal for the Eagles is not just to win this season, but to have a program that succeeds every season.
We've just been building on the team, the program itself, like kind of where we want to be at, type of program we want to have here at East. So that's been our main focus. Every team works on getting better every week. Of course we're going to work on our mistakes and, fine-tuning things that we need to clean up. But our main focus here is just building the program each year, just getting better.
I feel like everything is branched off of last year when we came here. We lost it. We went so close, like, in a long time, and we lost. So we just make sure that we come to every practice with a lot of dedication and just focus up and get the work done. So we just take it game by day, practice by practice, and we're going to get the states.
Yeah, we focus on every game week by week. So, like, we focus on this game this week also. And, like, we just game plan on game week by week, and it worked. So
East High would come from behind to defeat Spencerport 48-34 to head to the Class A Finals versus Canandaigua. From Fairport, this is Tariq Spence for the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
Coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We'll have that when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
Introducing Dunkin Dark. Richer, stronger, bolder. The dark side of delicious. Now joining Original Blend. Choose the brew that's right for you. America runs on Dunkin.
Hello and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin. And joining us once again this week is Matt Trabold. Matt, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So Matt, we're talking soccer. We're talking pretty much anybody who's coming out of this qualifier between Athena and Pittsburgh. They've got a good shot at going deep into the States.
Absolutely, and starting off with Athena, Dylan Rice, one of their junior midfield stars. He went out in that Class A1 title game against Arcadia. He had 2 huge goals, and they came at huge points in the game. Each, at that point in the game, gave the Trojans the lead. And it just further confirms that if they're able to get by Sutherland, like you mentioned, in that state qualifier game, that they have the tools to make a big state run. You look at their top 2 guys. They're so hard to dispossess the ball from, because you look at Dylan Rice and his dribbling moves, and then Ottman Belsin, their leading scorer. He came back this season, his senior year, and just bulked up a lot. So his body control, his strength, it's really hard to knock him off the ball. And speaking of Belsin, he had a stretch this season with a hamstring injury, but he came back an even better player, which is hard to fathom. Michael Tracy, another one of their junior stars, and the guys in the back there, they form a very confident, and rightfully so, defensive group. I think it's going to be very interesting. But if Sutherland is able to win against the Trojans and get on, I think they are also a team to look at for a possible state run. They have star power with Dylan Kladstrup and Will Bowen in terms of scoring the ball. And then in the back line there, Drew Cole, sophomore. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I think both teams have a shot.
It speaks volumes to the talent in Section 5 soccer. You got 2 teams that are so dominant who going head-to-head to move on and take on Section 6. Talking about Section 5 powers, Spencerport girls, they lose basically everybody from last year. And what do? They just go out and win, win another sectional championship.
Absolutely. What a coaching job this year by Jamie Snyder and his staff. Like you just mentioned a second ago, they lost all but a very small group of starters from one of those title teams of 2018. And we're talking about big-name people not there for 2019. Leah Wengender, she was an All-American, so not just a local or a state star. And they had two other D1 girls, not for the soccer side of things, but just D1 in general for lacrosse, and Olivia Wall and Erin Kuykendall. And this year they bring back just a very small group. I mean, Kat Wall, Olivia Wall's younger sister, she is in net, Julia Vivavatny. These are good players. They have starting experience, but there's just not a lot quantity-wise going on with them. Somebody that is a rotational piece in the past, and Maddie Brongo is someone I really look at as why they're able to go out and win their 4th straight sectional title despite all that turnover. Is she was a rotational piece in the past, but now she's really starring as a senior captain. Her little sister, sophomore Lily Brongo, is really showing that she can be a star potential. She's really already a star with what she's shown this season. What a great story.
It really is a great story. I mean, and it's not like their Section 5 girls soccer is pretty good. So to win 4 straight, that speaks volumes about the program.
Absolutely. And Mendon, especially with Grace O'Hara up front, they have a lot of scoring clout. And this is a team that they got by Sutherland in that second meeting during the season. They're a very good team. They also have a very good pedigree. And for them, with what they have this season, with not a lot of pedigree with player by player in terms of them having a lot of big roles on these state title teams in the past, for Spencerport, it's such an impressive win.
All right, awesome. Great stuff, Matt, as always. Thanks very much. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later, one of the country's best tennis players returned to Mercy and the States. We'll have her story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field.
Making the Grade this week is Greece Olympia senior Grace Collins. Grace is a 5-year veteran of the girls' varsity soccer team, and in that time has made a name for herself in Section 5. Grace has made first team All-County for 3 years, Player of the Year in Monroe County Division 4, is the second leading point scorer in all of Monroe County in goals and assists this season, and has just topped off the season with a sectional title. Grace is also a nominee for Greece Athlete of the Year. In the classroom, Grace has a perfect 4.0 average and has received academic awards in science, math, history, English, and citizenship. In college, Grace plans to continue playing soccer and study radiology. This week, Grace Collins is Making the Grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave with the McArdle Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdle's in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's. Well, congrats to Rush Henrietta's Rhea Davis. The Royal Comets junior has committed to play D1 lacrosse at the University of Connecticut. Irondequoit Cross Country swept the individual titles in Class A at the Section 5 Cross Country Championships, with sophomore Candace Teitler winning the girls' race and senior Nick Bauman becoming the first Eagles boy to win the meet. And finally, the Class A titles went home with the Irondequoit girls and the Fairport boys. Junior Kayleen Rudder finished second overall to lead the Raiders squad. Coming up next, Julia Andreach on her return to Section 5 tennis. We'll have her story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. 2 years ago, Julia Andreach of Mercy won the New York State tennis title. Her quest to improve her game took her to the IMG Academy in Florida. This year, she's back in Section 5, and she's back on top. After Julia Andreach won the state tennis title as a sophomore, odds were pretty good that she was in a great position to become a 3-time state champion. After all, the year before, she had advanced to the finals as a freshman. But a funny thing happened on her way to another title. Instead of returning to Mercy for her junior year, she opted to take her talents to the IMG Academy in Florida, a boarding school which attracts the top student athletes from around the world.
It was definitely a very hard decision. It took a lot of time. After states, I kind of started looking at academies because a lot of coaches were saying I was only using 20% of my potential. And obviously when you hear that, you're like, oh, what can I do more? So looking at those academies was really important. It took a lot of thought.
A place like IMG offers something you can't get anywhere else. The ability to be surrounded by people with the same mindset. People who are striving to get the most out of their talent and who will push you to do the same.
One of the main reasons why I went there is for the competition. Just in Rochester, I wasn't getting as much competition as I would have wanted. So moving down there, one of the biggest things is I was going to be hitting with players at such a high standard and be training with coaches that have so much experience with people at my level and playing tournaments that, I wanted to play. Playing those tournaments, I went to Europe for a couple tournaments, South America for a couple tournaments, and I was just playing more matches than I was here. And against people at a higher level. So I think that was one of the biggest things that definitely raised my level a lot.
Brad Thyroff is her personal coach here in Rochester. He's been working with her since she was 8 years old, and he knows the only way for Julia to truly reach her potential was to face the type of competition that wasn't available locally.
It made more sense for her to go down to IMG where she would be playing good players from all over the world, and every day she could play someone that was better than her and push her. The only problem is you're eating, sleeping, breathing tennis, and you don't have the benefit of kind of stepping away from it and doing something else and being more active and enjoying something else, and then enjoying, hey, I'm back on the tennis court, this is where I love to be. You kind of never get off it. And so that can be tiring and that can be draining also. So I think it was good that she went and tried it, and she won't regret what if.
Her year at the academy brought her game to another level, but it also did something else. It gave her even more proof that when it came to being on the court with the best, she belonged.
She got to play a ton of tennis, and I think it helped her realize that here she is competing with top kids from all over the world, and she belonged there, and she belonged on the court with them. So I think that gave her kind of an international experience every day of top talent, and the fact that she deserved to be on the court with them. So I think that was good for her, that she could see that no matter where she goes, she can compete with the best players.
So after being exposed to such great tennis and seeing her game go to the next level, why decide to come back? Well, like they say, there's no place like home.
The competition was great. A lot of people were all aiming for the same goal as I was, so the competition factor was great. I just think I became a little homesick and kind of decided that it wasn't helping me grow as a person. It was definitely helping me as a player, but not as much as a person. And I think that's why I ultimately made the decision to come back.
She knew that heading into this year's state tournament, she would have a target squarely on her back. Everyone wants to beat the best. Julia had no problem with that. She knew that by playing the game she was capable of, the rest would just take care of itself.
It's definitely in the back of my mind, I'm not going to lie, but I've been talking to my dad, Brad, my personal coach, and it's just something you need to put behind you. If you think about it too much, it's obviously just going to negatively affect you. I'm happy that I'm the target that everyone has this year at States, but it's just something that I need to put in the back of my mind and just kind of forget about it.
She's an extremely capable player, and what I mean by that is when she's on, her shots are as good as anyone, and she's capable of beating anyone, really. She's got a phenomenal game, and if she's on, it's awesome. And if she's off, she's still a great player.
Julia will be heading to Notre Dame in the fall to continue her education and her tennis career as a member of the Fighting Irish. And she will go there as a state champion. Maybe in true passing of the torch fashion, she defeated a freshman to claim the title. We'd like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making this sports meet possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.